All right, so probably in some math class, and I don't know when you would have learned this. I always forget when students say they've learned it, that the angles in a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. You learned that at some point, yes? Wait a minute. So they're directed here. I ask you a question. You talk to me, not to your neighbor, please.
I learned that in this class.
I'm sorry?
I learned that in this class.
In this class we did it? I think I reminded you of it, but did you learn it in another math class before this one?
We were probably supposed to learn it in fifth grade. No, we didn't really. We were probably supposed to learn it in sixth grade. We did.
Okay, so let's talk about why this is going to work. Today I'm going to show you two different ways that we can prove that it's always going to be true. So here's the first way. So James was looking at a parallel lines with a transversal. Remember, a transversal is the line that goes across those two parallel lines. So he decided to draw another one, and it forms a triangle here in the middle. Gentlemen, if you can't control yourselves, I'll put you out in the hall and call for Mr. Binoche. I would rather not. And you probably would rather I didn't either. So he measured angle A and found that it was 62 degrees. So I'm going to put that on here. This is 62 degrees. And he found the measure of angle B to be 41 degrees. So, please, if someone would raise their hand and tell me, what's the measure of angle D and why? Yes, Ben?
62 degrees.
Yes. Why is it 62 degrees? What kind of angles are these two?
They're
Shh.
Is it?
It's okay. We just learned it yesterday.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. Yeah.
They're called alternate interior angles. They're interior because they're sandwiched in between the two lines, and they're alternate because one's on one side of the transversal and one's on the other side of the transversal. All right, someone else, if you'll raise your hand, tell me what angle E is. Yes, Bella? 41 degrees, yes. Why? Okay, not alternative, it's alternate. Yeah, you're close, it's right next to each other in the dictionary. So those are alternate interior angles. So D is equal to 62 degrees. E is 41 degrees. Because alternate interior angles aren't always congruent. They're only congruent when what happens? What has to be true? Yes. The lines have to be parallel, exactly right. So when lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are congruent, meaning they're the same size and the same shape.
So they're non-alternate.
Yeah, if the lines aren't parallel, like this, and let's say this is angle R and this is angle S, those are alternate interior, but they're not the same size because the lines aren't parallel. So that's the thing. The problem is because we do so many that are parallel lines, people start to forget that if the lines aren't parallel, none of this is true. Okay? So, what do angles D, C, and E, if we add them, what is their sum? D, C, and E. How much?
180.
180 degrees.
Yeah.
Because together they make a straight angle. and the measure of a straight angle is 180 degrees. Sammy, you getting this? Shh. And now we're going to find the measure of angle C. We know that D, C, and E added together should be 180. So D is 62. C we don't know yet. E is 41. And those are supposed to add together to be 180. So I'll group the like terms. I'll have C plus 103 is 180. Subtracting them, we get C is 77 degrees. Now it asks us to find A plus B plus C. Well, let's see, A is 62, B is 77, C is 41. If we add those all together, we get 180 degrees. So this is one way to show, and it doesn't matter what these angle measures are. This could have been 65 and this could have been 31. It still would have worked out that these three angles would add up to 180 degrees. So here, and we'll skip it for the sake of time, they said, what if we changed it to 65 and 42? Would it still work out? The answer is yeah, it would still work out. All right. Let's see how Ben's doing on his cutting. How many of you got cut out so far? All right. You take one and pass it back, please. Take one and pass it back, please. One for you and one for Ben, please. Oh, and one for me. Please.
You're fine, enjoy it. It's not you. She was shit speaking.
Am I what? Sorry. What? I enjoy it. I like geometry.
No, you're
We're gonna have cutting class.
Yes, let's do that.
All right. So if you will please, take your triangle and turn it so that the letters are facing you. Okay? The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fold point C down. And you wanna be careful, don't just fold it anyway. You wanna fold it so that your crease is parallel to the bottom. It may take a little bit of adjusting. You wanna fold it so that your crease is parallel to the bottom.
Wait, do I fold it like this way? Like
So
the tip?
C is the letters are facing you.
Yes.
So
Ben, you're
I'm
cutting
showing you
very
the letters are facing you.
Yes.
Okay?
Barry, if you just parallel. Got it.
So wait, no.
I don't trust you.
So fold this
I don't
away
trust
from
you, Barry.
yourself.
Would I trust Barry?
Okay? So once you've gotten that, it should look like this. Right? look at the side where you folded it, you can just see angle C. Now,
Oh, here angles.
take the left side and fold it, and it should fit, although our cutting isn't quite perfect, like
Yeah, Mr.
so,
Johnson.
so that A is right there at C.
And did it same with B?
And then the same thing with B.
Mr. Johnson, your cutting skills made my thing very uneven.
What is this cutting skill?
So you fold B onto.
It should look like this.
Yeah.
Okay. See if so.
So
The salting when you
Hold it
Yeah,
fair.
all
You see A,
Oh.
you see A, you fold it this way. You see B. Oh wait. Yeah, you see B, you fold it.
Yeah, it's a rectangle.
So it should look like a rectangle
Sort of.
or a prism.
You're gonna cut it wrong.
Always.
I'm not gonna cut it.
Cut it wrong.
Fold that. So when you get finished,
I don't know.
okay, gentlemen, when you get finished, it should look like this. Looks like a little rectangle.
The letters need to be facing out.
Yeah, it may not be perfect, it's okay.
Were the letters meant to be facing out?
Yes.
He did it back.
Wait, the
Okay.
letters face out?
Oh.
So notice A, B, and C should make a straight angle together. What's the measure of a straight angle?
180.
180. So these three angles from the triangle add up to 180.
Very fun.
Okay?
Not overlaps.
Yes.
Yes, I know they're not perfect. It's okay. So let's use that now to help us find the angles in triangles. Gentlemen, I'll get him in a minute. So here, we have 2 out of the 3 angles in this triangle. So what we know is that 30 plus 115 plus x is equal to 180. So that's 145 plus x is 180. Subtract the 145 from both sides and we get that x is 35 degrees. All right, let's take a look at this one. This time they didn't give us any of the angles directly, but we know that x plus x plus x is 180.
3x equals 180.
So it's 3x is 180 when we group the like terms, and so x has to be 60 degrees. All right, please go ahead and do the next 2. If you're feeling really confident, you can go on to the ones beyond that, but do the next 2 and check them. Please do the next 2 and check them with the people around you.
Yes, sir.
Is Johnny a problem drinker?
Said C. C is 50 degrees for x. So then the 2x is 100 degrees, right? You got this. Alright, what about D?
All right. Paul, what did you get for C?
50 degrees.
So did I. Are there any questions about that one? The crowd goes wild.
Boom.
All right, and then Barrett, tell me about D.
40.
D is 40. That's exactly right.
Jared is so smart.
All right. Shh. So now let's go through these and see if we can find X and Y. So sometimes on problems like this, and this will happen when you get to geometry in a couple of years, sometimes it's like, I just need to start finding something, right? I used to have a friend who would say to his students all the time, do something, start the problem. Well, I don't know where to start. Pick a place and start. Pick something that you know. There are a couple of different ways that you can do this. I personally started right here. If this angle is 92, because here we've got a straight angle, that'd be 180. So how much is left for this angle? 88 degrees.
Good job, Ben Johnson.
Now I've got two of the three angles in that triangle. So 88 plus 36 plus X is equal to 180. So it's 124 plus X is 180. So X, when I subtract, is 56. Just something that is interesting to note. It's not something you have to know for this class, for this unit, but it'll come up when you take geometry. Notice, what's 36 plus 56? It always works out that way when you have this angle outside of the circle, that if you add the two angles that are not right next to it together, you get this. It always works that way. All right, for Y, there are a couple of different ways we could do it. There's the long way and there's the short way.
Short way.
Okay? To do it the short way, what you want to do, is look at the whole big triangle. Don't just look at the little triangles. Look at the whole big triangle.
Oh, so you get it and then you subtract it and then you divide it.
So, no, not quite, but so this angle is 36. This angle is 116. And this angle has two parts, a y and a 15. And those added together are 180. So let's see, that's 140, 152, 162, 167.
676?
And then subtract, and we get y is 13 degrees. Pardon? That's the boring way? Oh, yeah, the other way is to find this angle and then find this angle and then use this triangle. You have to find two other angles before you get to y. Pardon? It's very fun. Yes.
Now, is there going to be something like that on the quiz tomorrow?
Bless you.
Could be, but yes, there is a quiz tomorrow.
Wait, we don't have a Friday. We don't have a Friday?
Yeah, we do. We do have one. Yeah,
I'm so
for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Tomorrow you'll be in class for, God bless you. Let's see if you can do it without making all the noise though. Sneezing is one thing, making it extra loud is something else. Tomorrow we will not be in this room. We'll be in building 4 in room 404. So do not come here because my statistics students will be taking their AP exam in here. Yes, sir. I'll look it up in just a minute.
Okay.
I think it's next week. All right. Let's take a look at this one. Again, the fastest way to do this is not to do nothing but the little triangles. The fastest way is to look at bigger triangles, like, for example, this triangle. Because we know, what does that little box stand for?
Right angle.
It's a right angle. It's 90 degrees. So in this triangle, we can go, okay, 54 plus 90 plus x is 180. So it's 144 plus x is 180. So subtracting x is 36. Notice it says both of these are x. So this is 36 degrees and this is also 36 degrees. To find angle y, I think the easiest thing to do is to, if this angle is 105, its vertical angle is also 105. And then just work with this triangle. 36 plus 105 plus y is 180. Yeah, it's 141 plus y is 180. So y is 39 degrees. Okay, any questions about that?
No, sir.
Yes.
Which angle is the 105 degrees?
Which angle is 105?
Like which one of them? Like which one of the areas is it?
Which, I'm sorry,
Which one of the corners is the 105 degrees?
this angle's one,
Which is the original one? That it was just that one.
it's this angle.
Oh.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, it looks really confusing.
Okay.
What?
Ma'am,